Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Dishatarine Jaya Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta-vrinda Jaya Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta-vrinda Jaya Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta-vrinda Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Jaya Prabhupada. Nitai Gaura Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nitai Gaura Hari Bol. Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari. Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari. Yashodanandana Braja Janaranjana. Yashodanandana Braja Janaranjana. Jamuna Tira Banachari. Jamuna Tira Vanachari. Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari. Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari. Yashodanandana Braja Janaranjana. Yashodanandana Braja Janaranjana. Jamuna Tira Jamuna tira vanachari Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopijana Vallabha Girivardhari Gopijana Vallabha Girivardhari Jashodanandana Jaja Jana Ranjana Jashodanandana Jaja Jana Ranjana Jamuna Tira Vanachari Jamuna Tira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Shapada Paramahamsa Parivrajakaacharya Astutara Satasishima His Divine Srila Bhaicharana Arvinda Bhaktivedanta Swami Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada Ki ISKCON Vedvyasa founder Acharya Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada Ki Jaya Vishnupada Paramahamsa Parivrajakaacharya Astutara Satasishima His Divine Guru Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Maharaj Srila Prabhupada Ki Jaya Ananta Koti Vaishnavrinda Ki Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur Ki Jaya Prem se kaho se Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jaya Shri Radha Krishna Gop Gopinath Shyam Kund Radha Kund Giri Govardhan Ki Jaya Brajmi Vrindavan Dham Ki Jaya Navadip Mayapur Dham Ki Jaya Ganga Mai Ki Jaya Jamuna Mai Ki Jaya Bhakti Devi Ki Jaya Tulsi Maharani Ki Jaya Samaveta Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jaya Nitai Gaur Premanande Om glories to assembled devotees Om glories to assembled devotees Om glories to assembled devotees Glories to Sri Sri Guru and Sri Gauranga Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya We are reading from Bhagavad Gita as it is, chapter number 10. The opulence of the Absolute, and we were talking about that even the class before last class. Even if we do not know Krishna, which is very essential to know, right? But as we said before, that we have to at least accept him through the verdict of the authorities. You may not believe in authority. All right? But you heard about him. You can verify that it is written in the Shastras. The Shastras are ultimate authority. Guru, Sadhu, Shastra. Three things are considered to be the authority in a particular lineage where Krishna is disseminating his knowledge through. That is the importance of the disciplic succession. And Prabhupada was very keen. Generally, people do not have that kind of linkage and they bluff about Lord Krishna. They do not know. They don't have lineage. So how can you trust them? But people do not know. The vox populi. People are, even in Vrindavan, made after some Baba and the sadhu, but he doesn't have a lineage. The unbroken chain of disciplic succession is not there. And one may have an ulterior motivation to usurp that position of popularity. And people are misled. It's going on every now and then in Vrindavan. So we have to be very, very careful. Arjuna has not yet experienced Krishna's real nature, but simply by the word of mouth, but through the authorities, not from an upstart, but through the authorities. Theoretically, we can accept that yes, this is the definition. And if it is confirmed by the personality himself, and he doesn't contradict with the does not contradict with any of these authorities, then do you have any option not to follow, not to accept, and then to realize? Let the realization come afterwards. What is in rush? But the sensible situation, our sensible thing in our pursuit of understanding the Supreme Absolute Truth, we must take up a very authorized process. If the process is perfect, then we don't have a problem. We will automatically become perfect.
But just stick to the process.
So, Arjuna has heard so much, and we were talking yesterday, I think 2 classes before, that he has accepted Lord Krishna as the absolute truth on the basis of the authorities. So here is the verse, chapter number 10, text number 12 and 13, but it goes on up to 14th and 15th and 16th also. But we generally quote 3 verses, but there are 5 verses that gives much more, quite sensibility to pursue a particular subject matter to realize later. But Adav Shraddha, if you cultivate faith in disciplic succession or in the authorities, that will be an intelligent, move. People do not think that by other senses, and they perceive that, oh, he has a lot of people behind him. There must be something. It's a speculation, right? Because most of the people do not know. They have not accepted, even philosophically or by the virtue of using his intelligence. Blind faith is no better than the faith that will eventually make you realize. Blind faith doesn't want to discriminate anything. Most of the Muslims, they have blind faith. So Hindus also, and so Christians also. Most of them have blind faith. While faith has to be defined also. And faith has to be verified also. How is the verification? So this is a subject matter to accept the authorities to be, a reasonable, backing for our pursuing the path. That is reasonable. So, Arjuna is telling, Arjuna vacha, param brahma param dhama, pavitram paramam bhavan, purusham shashvatam divyam, adi devam ajam vibhum, ahustvam rushaya sarve, devarsi naradasthatha, asito devalo vyasa, swayam chaiva pravishime, sarvametadrutam manye, yanmam vadasi keshava, nahi te bhagavan vyaktim, vidurdevana danava. Swayamevatma atmanam Vittatvam purushottamam Bhuta bhavana bhutesha Deva deva jagatpate Vaktum aharsha asheshena Divyayatma vibhutaya Yar vibhutir nirlokam Imam stvam vyapya tishthatasi. Katham vidyamaham yogim Svam sada parichintayan Keshu keshu cha bhaveshu Chintyo asi bhagavan maya. Finally he requests, Vistarenatmano yogam Vibhutim cha janardana Bhuyah kathaya truptirhe Shrunvato nasti me amrutamam. Now let's read the translations of all of them. Arjuna said, You are the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the ultimate abode, the purest, the absolute truth. You are the eternal, transcendental, original person, the unborn, the greatest. All the great sages such as Narada, Asita, Devala and Vyasa confirm this truth about you, and now you yourself are declaring it to me. O Krishna, I totally accept as truth all that you have told me. Neither the demigods nor the demons, O Lord, can understand your personality. Indeed, you alone know yourself by your own internal potency. O Supreme Person, origin of all, Lord of all beings, God of all gods, Lord of the universe, please tell me in detail your divine opulences by which you pervade all these worlds. Huh? O Krishna, O Supreme Mystic, how shall I constantly think of you and how shall I know you? In what various forms are you to be remembered? O Supreme Personality of Godhead, O Janardhan, again please describe in detail the mystic power of your opulences. I am never satiated in hearing about you, for the more I hear, the more I want to taste the nectar of your words. So, this is the premise. Acceptance of Lord Shri Krishna as the supreme authority because of so many stalwart devotees. They are accepting you. So that is one reason. Moreover, you yourself are confirming. So there is no contradiction. And the third one, they know in limits, but you are unlimited. So I'm very anxious that I want to meditate on you, think about you always within this created material world. Then how do you become all-pervading? So Krishna has to be accepted. And then we have to meditate. So, as a subject matter of knowing Krishna and his opulences is the theology. Theology means understanding the Supreme Personality of Godhead. All right? Prabhupada spoke to big scholars. They are teaching Hindu religion in Harvard, Oxford, Berkeley, University of California. He was also speaking to many who are, some are from Toronto, they are professors big, some are from Pennsylvania. So many scholars were there. They have studied comparative religion also, right? And Prabhupada was explaining, here I come and tell you, here is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And other theologians of those who were the guests, they were not knowing. And all of a sudden, Krishna is popping out, in our movement. And he has a personality, he has transcendental attributes, he has so many divine activities, which are all pleasing. The purpose to establish religion is to paritranaya sadhuna vinashaya dushkritam dharma sansthapanataya sambhavami yuge yuge. They don't have contention. Yes, the Lord has to come and re-establish the tenets of religion according to time, place, and circumstances. Fine. But that is a very limited periphery. The Lord is understood that He is performing His aprakat leela in Golok Vrindavan all the time. It's a continuation. But people on the earth, They hardly have an opportunity once in a while, not all the time. He may come in different avatars and this and that, different kinds of avatars also. But when he comes as he is and performs his lila, just for the pleasure to his intimate devotees, there is no other purpose. So that being the major reason, killing demons and other things, that is usual. He doesn't have to do himself. His agency can do. But nonetheless, even in the form of a child, he can kill so many people. Nasty nefarious. He has been doing this killing business since he was a 2-month baby. Right? Because Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, does not compromise with its status, which is unparalleled. As the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So what difference does it make whether he is a 2-month-old baby killing Putna? And he never grows old for more than 16 years. Nava Yauvanam cha. Always new blooming adolescent. So that will be interactions, will reveal more about Krishna. But in the material world, even in his absence, we'll be able to understand the theology based on the acceptance of the great scholars, those who have realized. So, to understand through their acceptance, we pursue also to understand subsequently, then it won't be a waste of time. It won't be a discouraging situation. It cannot be, It is a secure path. Children these days, they take IT, education. Then when they do not able to compete, they change their subject and do another thing. Even many are dropouts from the medicine, and they pursue another minor. So, what is wrong in pursuing the topmost? The gain is eternal. Gain is eternal. But there will be many failures, but there is no diminution. Swalpam apyasya dharmasya trayate mahatobhaya. The slightest of acceptance of this, the core subject matter of understanding the Supreme Absolute Truth, because he wants us to understand him. Evam vetti, as it is, not enamored or not flabbergasted or nothing. Don't mix masala in it, as it is. The Kathakars would do a lot of mixing masala business just to sell themselves. Their prestige depends upon how do they do the katha. We are not kathakar, we are not professional reciters. It's a condemned service. Understanding Krishna is a self uh, acceptance of every individual. They have to, if they are intelligent and want to pursue the path, all right, and that is perfect. It fits in. It's not a speculative path. Because you have a lot of backing. Guru Sadhu Shastra Vakya Chittete Koriyayaka. Try to learn this because they are uniform and disseminating the transcendental knowledge. We should not aspire for anything else. Guru Mukha Padma Vakya Chittete Koriyayaka. Arana Kariho Mane Asha. Don't develop any other sidetrack interest. Stay. It's a strict discipline and simple discipline. But if we are complicated and we use our so-called fertile brain to destroy our own future, it is, Krishna will not prevent. Okay, be my guest. Take your time. You do not know that I am in rush. Krishna says, come. Simply give up everything and come to me. Sarva dharmana parityaja. Dharma means all of the notions you have stored in your so-called fertile brain, educated brain. Give up. Just surrender to me. But that will be only unless you have personal experience. Then you will surrender. So the process is perfect and ends up there, and then there is no return from it. Yad gatvana nivartante taddhamam dharmam paramam mama. That supreme abode is of Krishna's. So, in this acceptance, Arjuna is verifying that whatever Krishna has said is accepted by these authorities. So, what's wrong with me that I cannot accept? Therefore, the word is used, sarvameta dhritam manye. Sarvametam dhritam manye. Dhritam means factual. When things are virtual or speculative, it's called na andrutam. Na andrutam. So that is the aphorism. Satyameva jayate nandrutam. But people only speak Satyameva jayate. So much escapism is there. They do not know Satya and they want to assert, even in court, Satyameva jayate. But they don't understand. Na andrutam is not written. Even in the emblem of Ashok Stamba, Satyameva jayate. But they don't write na andrutam. That is the full sentence. Satyameva jayate na andrutam. Andrutam cannot win. Means one which is not factual, that cannot be Satya. So factual means one must experience it and accept. So acceptance through the glories of the disciplic succession is very welcome because they are realized. Some professor of chemistry, he has some knowledge, basic knowledge to teach others. But do you think, is there any scope of realization there? What the atoms, they are becoming more complicated. They do research, but such research do not give any tangible result of realization. Similarly in biology. It's completely against the life principle, the living entity. Actually, I resigned from my research. Okay? I was also one of the scientists in America, but I resigned because it was manufacturing the statistically significant numbers. You can manufacture. There's no genuinity. But just to get NIH grants, research are going on. The National Institute of Health was giving grants, and they are still giving grants for doing research. Huh? I already got initiated. And then I stopped participation in animal experiments. I'll do some other odd things. And doing in other odd things, I found out something in examining the transport system through the kidney, and because it's a radioactive, and autoradiography was being used. So my boss became very pleased. And he gave me a paper, published, but I resigned. I disappointed him. So the point is that understanding and coming through a very authorized chain of disciplic succession. Authorized means sometimes it's honest, is also called authorized. Honesty is the best policy. So, pramanik, because he has set the standard, and that standard has to be set and followed. Okay? There is a verse in Bhagavad Gita, ye yatha mam prapadyante tams tathaiva bhajamyaham mama vartamanu vartante manusya partha sarvasa. Krishna is telling, in the degree of your approach towards me, I reciprocate accordingly. And I have set up the standard that everyone follows. Some follow in ignorance, some follow with little knowledge, some follow with advanced knowledge, but I reciprocate with all of them accordingly. Mama vartamanu vartante. Mama vartma. I have set up the standard. And that standard is that I will reciprocate accordingly. Generally, I don't know why in India, still the habit, you go and put in Purnami or the donation box coins, and you pray for giving him lottery and $1 million. Krishna is already telling, I will give you in accordance to your surrender to me. What are you doing? So, Krishna reciprocates all the acts of devotional service without any and reciprocates. And reciprocates to satisfy that they will strengthen their faith on me. That is also one of the ways, But prapadyante means surrender. Prapadyante means to surrender. In the degree of our surrender, he reciprocates accordingly. But then at last, Sarva dharmana parityajya mamekam sharanam vraja aham tvam sarva papebhyo mokshayashyami ma sucha. So it has to gradually growing to the maturity of our experience. How do we become mature and stabilized in conviction of Krishna's divine activities, his personality, everything will be known. So, kasmin bhagavo yasmin vigyatam sarvam evam vigyatam bhavanti. Prabhupada quotes this, that know that personality by which everything will be known. Everything will be known. And that is Krishna consciousness. We are trying to learn about how Arjuna, from ordinary friendship all the way to acceptance and surrendering. Any project or any dilemma, any kind of obstacle that comes, if we try to listen, Krishna, he will reciprocate. He will show. He has already shown how to exist. But if we messed up and then go, then naturally it will take some time to come to the track. The track. The track is already established. We don't have to do anything new. So, we see in these two verses, that is Param Brahma, whatever Arjuna has told, the Supreme Lord gives a chance to Mayavadi philosophers. For here, it is clear that the Supreme is different from the individual soul. Arjuna, after hearing the essential 4 verses of Bhagavad Gita in this chapter, becomes completely free from all doubts and accepted Krishna as the Supreme Personality of Godhead. He at once boldly declares that you are Param Brahma, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And previously Krishna stated that he is the originator of everything and everyone. Every demigod and every human being is dependent upon him. Men and demigods, out of ignorance, think that they are absolute and independent of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. That ignorance is removed perfectly by discharging devotional service. This has already been explained in the previous verse by the Lord. Machita madgata prana bodhayantascha parasparam kathayantascha mam vidyam tushyanti cha ramanti cha. Then my devotee will be always engaged. Satatam kirtayanto mam yatantascha tradavrata namasyantascha mam bhaktya nitya yukta upasate. All right? So those who are, these are the practices to remain close to Krishna. So, men and demigods, out of ignorance that they are absolute and independent of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, that ignorance is removed perfectly by discharging of the devotional service. That this is already been explained in the previous verse. Now, by the grace, his grace, Arjuna is accepting him as the supreme truth and concordance with the Vedic injunction. It is not that because Krishna is Arjun's intimate friend, Arjun is flattering him by calling him the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the Absolute Truth. Whatever Arjun says in these two verses is confirmed by Vedic truth. Vedic injunctions affirm that only one who takes the devotional service to the Supreme Lord can understand him, whereas others cannot. Each and every word of this verse is spoken by Arjun is confirmed by Vedic injunctions. In the Kena Upanishad, it is stated that the Supreme Brahman is the rest for everything, and Krishna has already explained that everything is resting on him. And the Mundaka Upanishad confirms that the Supreme Lord in whom everything is resting can be realized only by those who engage constantly in thinking of him. This constant thinking of Krishna is Smaranam, one of the methods of devotional service. It is only by devotional service to Krishna that one can understand his position and get rid of this material body. In the Vedas, the Supreme Lord is accepted as the purest of the pure. One who understands that Krishna is the purest of the pure can become purified from all sinful activities. One cannot be disinfected from sinful activities unless he surrenders unto the Supreme Lord. Arjun's acceptance of Krishna as the Supreme Pure complies with the injunction of the Vedic literature. This is also confirmed by the great personalities whom Narad is the chief. Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and one should always meditate upon him and enjoy one's transcendental relationship with him. He is the supreme existence. He is free from the body, needs, and from birth and death. Not only does Arjun confirm this, but Krishna is thus described in the Puranas, histories, and all other Vedic literature. And the Supreme Lord himself also says in the 4th chapter, although I am unborn, I appear on this earth to establish principles of religion. He is the supreme origin and has no cause, for he is the cause of all causes, and everything is emanating from him. This perfect knowledge can be had by the grace of the Supreme Lord. Here Arjuna expresses himself through the grace of Krishna. If we want to understand Bhagavad Gita, we should accept the statements of these two verses. This is called the Parampara system, acceptance of the disciplic succession. Unless one is in the disciplic succession, he cannot understand Bhagavad Gita. It is not possible by so-called academic education. Unfortunately, those proud of their academic education, despite so much evidence in the Vedic literature, stick to their obstinate conviction that Krishna is an ordinary person. So, giving all the reference to the context is making a very solidified, subject matter. So, everybody is supposed to make a spiritual advancement in order to become really uplifting oneself. Otherwise, what is the necessity to either accept an ant's body or an elephant body? Is it a great achievement? Do you think elephant body is better than ant's body? But human body has been said to be very important. Labdva idam sudurlabam bahu sambhavante. Sambhav means repeated birth and death. Out of many, many hundreds and thousands of repetition, means going through 8.4 million species of life, the human body is achieved by even evolution of consciousness. Don't say Darwin doesn't touch that part. consciousness, but it is evolution of the consciousness. A human can discern through the five senses better. And that's how he is the recipient of the intelligence also. But we misuse everything in sense gratification. And in front of sense gratification, we become completely handicapped. लाचार बन जाते हैं. That is not the result of coming into a human form, which is rare, and you become lachar, means completely handicapped. No, we can rise above. We can rise above. Arjun may become an example, and then you will have a lot of excuses that I'm not Arjun, and Krishna is not my friend. But who says Krishna is not your friend? Krishna is the best kind of friend, but we have to know him. Know only three things, and you will be at ease. Bhoktaram yakya tapasam sarvaloka maheshwaram suridam sarvabhutanam gyatvam mam shanti mruchati. Right? I am the enjoyer, Krishna says. You are not. So don't compete. The servant enjoys the same facility and same status as the Supreme Master. But still servant is a servant and master is the master. Servant doesn't consume before the master. He serves the master, then whatever is remnant, he will consume. The Western people do not have this concept. They don't have concept at all. And fanaticism in Islam will tell, oh, who said we cannot be enjoyed? If you kill somebody, kafir, then Allah will award you 72 huras to enjoy. Poor guy cannot afford even 4 huras in the material world, even though they are allowed. But if you kill a kafir, Allah will give you 72 huras. They don't have any other conception. They do not know the spirituality. Neither they are taught. So anyway, the premise is great. Christians will say, our Father in the heaven, hallowed be thy name, give us our daily bread. Is Father provider of bread only? Or do we have to ask for something? My dear Father, how can I come to you? I'm lost in this material world. They have no concept. They have been promised the land of honey and milk flowing, the promised land. So they are materialist. So materialism is there in every religion, every religion. Because blind belief, unverifiability of a process, and everything which is speculative, the humanity will not survive in such thing. They will destroy each other. But before they destroy us, let's try to get out and escape this dilemma of coming back to the material world again and again and again, repeated cycle of birth and death. Right? So therefore Krishna is promising, because you are a devotee, he will ask you, surrender to me. And devotee has, by full conviction, surrenders. So, conviction comes by intellectual acceptance of authorities. Verifiability comes by practice. And the real mercy will be bestowed in proportion to our degree of surrender. Prapadyante means surrender. Yatha mam prapadyante tam tatheva. Yatha and tatha. It's a reciprocal thing. It's not like if. It's not like if. If you surrender to me, I will reward you. No. As you surrender, I reciprocate. That's the difference between as and if. We need to apply this process, study verifiability through the Shastra, Guru, Sadhu, Shastra. These are the three verifiable things. And your faith will be strengthened and verified into Nishtha that will liberate you. Nishtha is the stage of devotional service, where unshakable faith will liberate you. Ādau shraddha tato sadhu sangatha bhajana kriya atha anartha nivritti syat tato nishtha. Nishtha is the fifth out of 9. But then after nishtha, you will develop the taste. Right now, Krishna consciousness tastes very sweet, but you cannot enjoy. Can you enjoy? Krishna consciousness is very sweet. Just like sweet rice is very sweet. Tastes very sweet, but you cannot enjoy because there are scent particles of anarthas out there. Anarthas are obstacles. You like it, but oh, sorry, I can't eat. I can't enjoy it. So like that. But Nishtha stage, all the anarthas, the scent particles are removed. Then the taste will be. Ruchi means the taste. Real taste comes only, or the higher taste is coming only after giving up the lower taste. Like that. So, in Krishna consciousness, the higher taste is the phenomena to attract, and see the devotion and devotees feeding prasadam. Devotees are never conjuice. Prabhupada told sumptuous prasadam. Even a person who is arguing so much, Prabhupada said, can you put samosa in his mouth? to stop argument. Put the whole thing inside. So like that. And they will be happy. They'll become your friend. Prabhupada won so many people's heart. It's a very exceptional, a witful application of Krishna consciousness is there. Prabhupada's interviews and conversations, they expose you to this art of winning the heart. So, this process is perfect. It invites us to experiment, but perform stage-wise. Don't become whimsical, right? Under the care of a spiritual master, make progress. Develop, don't get stuck. So thank you very much. Anybody has any question? Yeah.
One question regarding the accepting the authority. We see that many Abrahamic religions, many followers of Abrahamic religions, Christianity.
Abrahamic, yeah.
So they sometimes misquote one or two slokas from Vedas, where the impersonal aspect of the Lord is mentioned, and then they sometimes try to argue. So when we are into that situation, where they don't accept the authorities, either the scriptures, but they misquote few slokas here and there to prove their point. So how do we protect ourselves?
Definitely, if you know the history, Prabhupada said there was one religion, and that is Vedic religion. Those who rebelled, like Yayati's two sons rebelled, Prabhupada said they were sent to where the Greek and Romans, they were the descendants of those two sons. Now, Jesus, the son of Mary, he was in Egypt, Jerusalem, Sinai, that area that was, and his teachings are parallel to Vedic teachings. Okay? There are many controversies there. But Aquarian Bible is also telling that Jesus was in India. Now, Abrahamic religion means both Islam and Christianity and Judaism, three things. They go by the same notion. So underlying fact is there, but they are against each other. Means the practice is not perfect. They stuck themselves in the belief system. They are stuck in the system of belief system. But if you see some Catholic especially, they have monastic life. Not all the Catholics. Jesuits are different. But the Catholics, they have monastic, and especially Gregorian monks. They are very austere. But they nonetheless eat meat. Okay? They are not abstaining. They appreciate because we made a lot of friendship with them too. in interreligion camps, Gregorian monks were there. And so many others, wishy-washy Christian, those who are believing in apparitions, visualizing the feature of Jesus or Mary or, and becomes hallucination. One time on the highway 75, starting from Detroit all the way down to Atlanta and south, near Dayton, Ohio, there was a big water tank high up, and somebody saw apparitions. The figure, something like Mary or Jesus, and there was a traffic jam for miles together. All of a sudden it stopped because everybody was, I can also see. It is all speculations. Right? We were in New Vrindavan at that time, the Christians would come, to check out. But actually, there was a couple. They were believers in apparitions, and they were also staying in New Vrindavan at that time. I'm talking of 1978. 1988, 89 or so. And they were telling of the apparitions to be like visualization, or have seen God and this and that, right? So they were telling the story of two little children visualizing in the mountains of Herzegovina, and remember the two countries were together, and afterwards there was a big fight, and there were Slovenia and Herzegovina. That is after that. So that area and the mountains, they have apparitions. But what do they do? Simply stuck on the faith, and they don't believe in reincarnation, they don't have anything to do with it. But they are startled that this process is there. But apparitions, to have visualization of a spiritual body is impossible. A materialistic who has not developed the vision of spirituality, how can he see? And apparitions cannot be material in nature. But it might, at the maximum, generate faith, the blind faith, without verification. So, the other religions especially are there, but they also came about, and before the Christianity started, they call early desert fathers, who wrote Philokalia and other literatures. It is almost parallel to Vedantic study. So, where is it coming from? Who spreads it? There must be a center of origin. When Yayati kicked two sons out from the Vedic periphery, naturally they must have come, and they are the ones who are conquering. They all came from Europe and Middle East to plunder India. Inherently they know that they do not belong, but they want to show their power and conquer India. They took all the Vedic literature and interpolated it and everything. But that doesn't kill the spirit. Most of the Bhagavad Gita treatise in English, they were paid by the British to write. I told you 4 names, 5 names are there. They are all freedom fighters, so-called. Dr. Radhakrishnan, Mahatma Gandhi, Vinoba Bhave, Bal Gangadhar Tilak, to write impersonal aspect. Because in Bible, 10 commandments, one of the commandments said that thou shalt not worship any graven image before me. Right? And we explained, we are not worshipping graven image. We are not Murti Pujak. Right? So they criticize most of the demigods and they do not know how to worship them. And because they are earthly products, they have to do the Visarjan also very unethically, disturbing the faith even. They mutilate the deities, made up of mud, and throw. They push it, and while pushing, they break off. So it has been a point of criticism. And those who are of this mix-up thing, they will put cigarette in the mouth of Durga Devi, and insult so many things. So these are the Western upstarts, those who want to criticize the real process. But Prabhupada was ordered to go in the West and preach boldly. Prabhupada was knowing all the fact. He said, if they actually know what am I doing here, they will kill me. To introduce deity worship in the Western country, and that too the highest standard, and with all this understanding backing of the process described in the scriptures like Srimad Bhagavatam, Narad Pancharatra, and traditions of Ramanujacharya, Madhvacharya. Prabhupada was bold enough. His 2 godbrothers were sent before, one in London, another was in Berlin. They didn't achieve much result. Actually, Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Maharaj had to send money from India to support their living. That was the thing. They don't want to give up meat eating even, but they wanted to become Brahman because that is the highest class. They know a Brahman must be well learned, right? But they don't want to give up meat eating. So all this situation, when we see Abrahamic religion and it is taking the toll, but sometimes we understand that Brahma is the real creator and propagating Krishna consciousness because he is our Adi Guru. Right? Teaching of Brahma Samhita, Brahma wrote, and it is so excellent. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu brought it. It was no use for Ramanujacharya's, Sri Sampradaya, because they are stuck with Vishnu and their business is only Archana. But here, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu brought it. They gave him a written copy. It's so excellent to establish the supremacy of Lord Shri Krishna. Bhagavatam is another proof. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and his teachings were written later by Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami that we study as a postgraduate, concurring with the such development has never occurred in Krishna, rather than interpolation of the Bible. When Saint Augustine came to France, he was one of the 12 apostles. He came to France, and Louis XVI, the king, was there. He said, "Let me understand and interpolate the way I see. If you accept my understanding, then and then I will be able to become a Christian." Apostles were spreading and making everybody believe. But this guy went against. So, St. James' version is very popular, but it is all interpolation of Louis XVI. He's an avid meat eater. So wherever the vegetarian food was there, called fruits, he would say, "This is the fruit." So, just like, people are looking some kind of loopholes, they have plenty. They have plenty. The Catholic Church, 2,000 years, they have gone under so much turmoil because hardly able to keep the vows of the priest. They have more and more, court cases going on. You name all the 4 regulative principles are broken there. So in that relationship with, ISKCON is doing better. And we are taking strong steps, that nobody can take like. And we have gone through to many situations, There were 2 court cases in 1975 when I became fully involved. In New York, one was a kidnapping case, then underage, one girl was, and then devotees must have, whoever comes. But the parents of the girl hired a deprogrammer, brainwashing charges, and at that time the movement started about. So there was a court case, and then we put up, and Srila Prabhupada was in India and he was sick. So in 1976, from our membership, I collected about 70,000 signatures on the petition for making the Indian community to the judge. We have to file that. And the second thing was that devotees were trying very hard, but one time Prabhupada cried because it was getting with the lawyers and stipulations, it was dragging on. Prabhupada cried one time. He said, devotees don't have anybody to help except Lord Krishna, but have full faith. And he told the devotees, can you put all my books on the table of the judge? And really, devotees put. And we got the best judgment ever to be ever held, even in the whole world. Even in India, such a judgment has not come. The for Krishna consciousness. It is there, you can just Google it. But we were, fighting that case. But there was a similar another case. In 1975, during Ram Navami, devotees moved from Henry Street Temple in Brooklyn to Manhattan with a skyscraper building of 13 floors high, and Prabhupada was very happy. When he came to see, he said, "Oh, I can see Empire State Building right from the roof. So if I die, can you make my samadhi here on the roof?" That was, showing his pleasure, Then, but the devotees, naive they are, they left the old property even though the lease was on, they did not terminate. So the Italian owner was there, and he's a cunning guy. He set fire because, devotees will break the walls to make a hall bigger so people will accommodate. So they did some damage, and we lost that case. We won the most important, but we lost the case. So $50,000 at that time was a fine levied. And we were all new life members. I became a life member in November 1974. And we were meeting and trying to involve Indian community in ISKCON's activity. So somehow or other, it came upon my head, that I have to help them to raise overnight. So we had one life member, he was the manager of State Bank of India and Manhattan branch at that time. And he gave, because ISKCON doesn't have resources, and they don't have credibility to get the loan on the institution's name. So that gentleman, Indian, he suggested, if we gather in the life membership about 13 members, to give me a guaranteed and with the bank statement that they will be backing, I will give a loan. So I have to collect from 13 people immediately, for 3,000. So 17 people were in, and $51,000 was given in overnight. And we saved. Otherwise, punitive damages are very costly. So anyway, I have been involved from the very beginning like this, and creating the members and then go to introduce them. And so otherwise, we will go every week. We have few people to go do kirtan, make them life member. They feed gulab jamuns to the devotees and they are happy. So much, prasadam exchange has been going on. At that time, you wouldn't believe. So anyway, those were the days that we have to look into. But we can't forget the experiences. So, anyway, on Christian church we were talking, but this, prior to Jesus Christ, they called the Desert Father, and the Philokalia is the literature. It is still available, it is studied also, but it is like Vedanta. So we can see the link in how the Abrahamic religions are into that, but they are not still in the Vedic category, even though they got the notion from our literatures. Why they took all the Vedas and Sanskrit, monographs and everything, they stole it. And I told that since 1976, they had the authority to give a PhD in Sanskrit, not in any Indian university. And then somehow or other, all the things started coming back, Otherwise, they stole everything. They wanted to study this development of this religion, that gives the direct perceptions. And age-old is the cradle of civilization is India, and they are trying to promote Egyptian. And we have so many other artifacts to understand that there were books written on Egyptian pyramid and Aztec in South America. Those pyramids have been done by South Indians. There's a lot of connection, and even Satari, when you go to the temple and they put for giving you blessings, the crown like that. So Satari is that they are Egyptians have Sataris too, but they're Indian priests. So, but anyway, violence is might is right, and peace-loving people will suffer. But it's Kali Yuga. But Krishna consciousness is the religion in Kali Yuga. So it has been already established, so we should take all the advantage to make our life perfect. Okay? Anything? Only Mahaprasada Govinde. Where are the kids? Oh, they are already eating. I have to speak on their behalf. Ke Mahaprasada Govinde. Namaste Narasimhaya.
Namaste Narasimhaya.
Prahlada Ladadaine. Hiranyakashipurvakshaha. Ito nasimho parato nasimho. Yato yato yami ततो नृसिंहो बाहे नृसिंहो हृदये नृसिंहो नरसिंहमदिं शरणं प्रपद्ये तव करकमलवरे नखम् अद्भुतसिंहम् कालिका हिरण्यकशिपो धनुभृङ्गम् केशरचिता नरहरिरूप जय जगदीश हरे जय जगदीश हरे जय जगदीश हरे जय नृसिंहदेव 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 जय नृसिंहदेव जय प्रह्लाद महाराज जय प्रह्लाद महाराज प्रह्लाद महाराज जय प्रह्लाद महाराज जय जय प्रभुपाद 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 जय जय प्रभुपाद सिंह भगवान की जय प्रह्लाद महाराज की जय जगत गुरु श्री प्रभुपाद की जय
Sham ki jai.